Welcome back to the Reality Guys. I'm your host, Billy Blinks, joined as always by my co-host, Brian.
What's going on, buddy?
And more importantly, our dear friend, an alumni, House of Villains Season 1 survivor, and the head of the of the reality after show, Jonny
Sure.
Fairplay.
Hey, it's great to be here. Love you guys. I think you guys make incredible content, and look, maybe down the road we can get a show or two on the old youtube.com/after show.
We're down about it. And hey, look, we're here. We want to talk House of Villains. We wanted to get you on for it. You have the best insight there could be, but more importantly, you do have something going on outside of reality TV and stuff, and we want to make sure we highlight that first.
Sure. I've been running for about 10 years, usually when chased. But it's a hobby that I picked up. I basically gave myself a rule that for every mile that I run, I can have a beer that night. And so I would love to have 13.1 beers tomorrow because I'm running a half marathon here in Danville, Virginia. And I'm doing a thing for the Over the Edge weekend. Used to be called the Hearts Reality Deal or whatever. My charity this year is Homeward Trails. And where I live here in Danville, Virginia, we have an animal shelter, and the national average and the state average kill rate across the board is around 13%. Is where kind of fluctuates up and down around the 13% mark. And our animal shelter here in Danville, Virginia, is at 83%, and that is no good. So Homeward Trails is a charity organization that is willing to come in and donate thousands and thousands of dollars and programs and initiatives and all these things to fix that. And they've been in communication with the animal shelter. They want and need their help, so it is going to happen. They are going to help. We are going to drop that kill rate here. And so I'm asking people. You can either go directly to the link that goes to my fundraising page for Over the Edge, with 100% of the proceeds going to Homeward Trails for this, or you can go to my Facebook page. I'll have a video up in the morning, and if you want to donate $5 for every mile that I run, or $10, or even $1, who cares? If you'd like to donate for every mile that I run, it's 13.1 miles is a half marathon. I mean, I'm 50 years old, guys. So there's no way I can complete a half marathon, right? So, I mean, do something crazy and just do $100 for every mile that I finish. And we shall see what happens tomorrow. The race begins at 8:30 a.m. I expect to be done around 10:30 when I complete my 13.1 miles.
It's a great charity. I personally actually have some connection to it. Friends of mine, you mentioned Hearts of Reality. We're heavily involved with that. And now they also work with Over the Edge Mania Club. Shout out Mania Club. But yeah, we're going to throw the link out there. Definitely make sure we donate as well. That's an awesome cause. I mean, I have 2 cats, a dog. I've always adopted, always come from local shelters up here in New Jersey. So it's an amazing cause. And look, man, especially, and not to go too heavy, and we'll get into the fun, but obviously with all the storms and everything right now, man, people thinking about these animals in these shelters are in horrible positions. I mean, they're not prioritized at all, and it's tough. They're still lives. So,
yeah. So,
really cool
thanks. The link will be in the show notes for those of you watching here. And as I said, head over to my Facebook page. It's facebook.com/Jonny Fairplay, no H in Johnny.
Awesome. My buddy told me to say he still has the Ice Cube vinyl you sold him. So.
Oh wow! All right. I'm looking at 3 other Ice Cube vinyls. They are some of my prized possessions. I think that one was an extra, so we're okay.
It's all good. So New York. So anyway. We're here, guys. House of Villains Season 2. We had a 2-night premiere on E. E also does a great job, I think, with getting the premieres out there. The episodes are for free on YouTube right now, on their YouTube channel as well. So we know we've had some commenters on our TikToks asking, like, hey, how do we watch this? You can watch the full premiere on YouTube. So go check that out if you haven't had a chance to watch it.
And they're available same week on Peacock. So,
Peacock
and
has a
for those
lot
of
of
you
stuff.
that have E, they're literally showing it every other show is House of Villains for like the next 3 weeks, I'm sure.
No,
So, but
YouTube TV had about 9 listings for today when I was going to go do clips today. So trust me, I feel you on that. I thought the premiere was great, guys. I thought the 2 episodes were awesome. We had the great mix of characters from great shows. We're going all the way back to Richard Hatch and bringing New York back to some people like Safari and Candy that are a little bit more in a different realm of reality TV. I love that these people get to mix. Jonny, I wanted to start with you. I mean, just off the top, your reaction, and then we're going to dig into everybody and their storylines. But like, what
sure.
is your main thought coming out of it as a contestant and a viewer?
Well, I can say the bar was set very high last year.
Yes.
I mean, we're all still friends. We have a group chat. We're all still in the group chat except for Jax. He left because Shake is in the group chat, so he is not. I am not kidding.
I love that.
Shake.
So,
I'm a vet.
I love Shake and Jax, but I love my entire cast. And when I first got there, I was just I had done a little research and so I kind of scoped out. I watched Tanisha on Bad Girls Club back when it originally aired, but
Yeah.
I looked up Bobby Lights and some of the other people, and I just thought the bar was set so high. I was, we're all kind of like, good luck. And I did a podcast on a reality app show, myself and Jen Hoffman, and I was just like, oh, with the bananas challenge replacement, maybe they could have gone Best Stelargic or Amanda, or for the Jonny Fairplay replacement, maybe they could have gone Abby Maria or Corinne. So, but Jen Hoffman had a pretty good point. If you're replacing these people with other people from the show, you're kind of pigeonholed on like the Bad Girls Club. You're not replacing her. There's not a Bad Boys Club.
Yeah.
So that has to be a girl. The RuPaul's Drag Race, that is that demographic. So you're kind of so there's only so many guy spots that you can swap out. So, so to get those, so, if you're replacing the challenge, maybe the right move is Wes. You're replacing Jonny Fairplay for on the Survivor spot, maybe Richard Hatches. And, where you're going to go, like if the peak is Johnny Bananas and Jonny Fairplay, I think Wes and Richard Hatch are pretty good,
I agree.
1A and 1B.
Mm-hmm.
So it took a second for me to digest it. The New York thing, like when we first heard, we're just like, really? But go back and look when season 1 aired, like social media and especially Reddit, it's just like, New York is gone. I'm done with the show. How can you guys get rid of the queen? I'm just like, the queen wanted to go. The queen won't have any of it. And I feel this go around. A lot of people don't know. New York isn't a very social person. She has social anxieties, and she
more
went
private than you would think.
Much more private. So she's honestly just a beautiful soul. I mean, like she understands how to make television, but strip that away, and she's just a sweet, quiet, private person. And so I think she went out there last time with no friends and some big personalities. And she is the HBIC, but if you look over and there's Omarosa, it's just like, ooh, where am I in the pecking order? Whereas this go round, I think New York is up there, amongst the top.
Mm-hmm.
And she has friends. She has Safari, and prior to filming this, Corinne, New York, and Wes filmed America's Worst Cooks in New York.
Mm-hmm.
And so she did make that West connection going in there. So I think that's going to bring her comfortability level much higher than what we saw in season 1. And so I agree with the call. I want New York comfortable, and I want New York happy, and I want New York to play.
We want New York because literally our TikTok blows up anytime we post anything that New York's in. It's like I posted So we posted 2 that had New York in it, and it's got a couple 100,000. I posted the fight between Victoria and Larissa, and it's at like 300. Like people just love Tiffany. And she deserves it, man. I mean, she is an OG of reality TV. I love New York and
she's the queen of the
Flavor of
game.
Love.
Mm-hmm.
The only other person I would maybe even want more than New York is her mom. Because her mom,
I would love to see her come back, but I don't think she would.
she would be a great introduce a challenge
a
person.
host. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The crazy thing was on season 1, I'm the first one in the house and New York is second.
Yeah.
And I was scared to death that she was going to recognize me. And, because she was like, oh, what's your name? And I was like, oh, this is wonderful. So what no one really knows and what New York did not remember, she had filmed a show called New York Goes Hollywood. Or New York Goes to Hollywood. So so on episode, I believe episode 2 or 3, early in the series, she hires a publicist, and a publicist puts together a welcome to Hollywood party with New York, and so the gimmick is the publicist reaches out to all these reality stars. And then New York shows up, and it's like, I'm in Hollywood. Why are these stupid reality stars? Where's George Clooney? Where's Leonardo DiCaprio? I'm in Hollywood. I left New York to come to Hollywood to be a celebrity, not a reality TV person. And so, so the reality stars were the punchline. Okay. So I arrive, and it was myself and Bob Dog from Survivor. What was he? Survivor. Anyway, but whatever Survivor he was on, I don't know, one of them. So anyway, so it's me and Bob Dog, and Bob Dog's a lawyer. So we get there, and we had they asked us to fill out our paperwork, and we were like, yeah, we'll get it. So we hadn't finished filling out our paperwork. So we're there. Everybody's mingling. New York comes in, and then New York goes to the kitchen, and she's yelling at her publicist. It's just like, these are nobodies. I'm a celebrity. There's blah blah blah. And so I see this, and I'm like, Bob Dog, we're out of here. And so we go to leave, and they're just like, hey, we need you to sign your paperwork. And we're just like, absolutely not. And they're like, well, we can still use your image. And Bob Dog goes, no, you can't. And I'm a lawyer. So would you really like to discuss this? And, and we kind of cause a scene. And so I was like, oh my God, does New York remember this? New York had no clue. We ended up doing press, 6 months later for the premiere. And I was like, hey, you remember? And I told her, she was like, oh my God, I remember. And I'm like, well, you didn't in the house, so all is well.
That's so funny. All right, yeah. So obviously New York standout. New York, we could probably spend the entire podcast talking New York, and we'll kind of come up with her when we kind of talk about the challenges and kind of how some things went, aka the FU button, which was classic. I do want to kind of highlight a little bit more of just some of the other casts that we saw and kind of where we think they're going to fall, how this is going to play out. You mentioned Wes and Richard as 2 really good additions this season so far. And I kind of want to see, it's classic Wes right now. Wes is doing a lot. He's making 37 deals. He's going to kind of overexpose himself. Richard is such an OG, and he just seems so quiet and calmly confident that he is smarter than everyone, and that they're all kind of, he sees what's going on. At least that's what he vocalized to Wes, which I kind of found funny because Wes started to squirm. I want to ask you, Jonny, is Richard really super smart? Is he as good as everyone is building him up? Because season 1 of Survivor is a long time ago now, right? Is Richard what we see on screen? I'd like to kind of get your vibe on him.
Jen and I kind of broke this down on our podcast. I think Richard Hatch was a great casting choice. If you go back and watch Richard Hatch on Survivor,
we have,
he was kind of awkward and not liked. And I think we're seeing some of that. He feels, observation wise, a little stuck in his ways.
Mm-hmm.
And we see the confidence and near arrogance at the beginning, but by the end of episode 2, I see a guy that's kind of falling apart. Like, this is not the game for. This is a young man's game. He's an old man that literally no one knows who he is or respects.
Yeah.
And Camilla is just open ears to anyone that'll talk to her, but I think in a good way, in that, you know, she's catching all these conversations, and I think will adjust on the fly. And I feel like she's like the only open ear that Hatch has. But you know, but even when Hatch calls out Jesse, it's like, hey, he didn't eat it. And everyone's like, yeah, we don't really care, old man. And you know, and when did he become rich? His name's Richard Hatch. Like, what is this rich shit?
Yeah, I kind of thought the same thing. I was curious throughout. They were presenting him as, you know, old rich, but where I think really this kind of backs up your opinion there too is he was very vocal that he wanted Victoria out. And he was like,
Yep.
no, Victoria. And then it ended up being a 5-2 vote against Larissa, right? So how much influence? They were counting votes already. Like, we only need one more. It's like, apparently you needed like 3 more, dude, because like everyone decided, like, between you and West, they were going with West. They've seen him on TV before, like you said. They're like, well, we're gonna go with this guy. Like, no one else. He's shouting. He also like, dog, close the bathroom door.
Yeah,
him,
yeah,
though.
and that's
totally
my
him.
bedroom and my bed that he's sleeping in. I go like, oh my god! So I was like, me and Bobby Lights never showered with the door open.
That's him though. I'm actually shocked it took him that long to get naked. I was expecting kind of his walk up would be him being naked.
Yeah, so on a competition reality show like House of Villains, it, you know, the advantage is going to someone that's played Survivor or has played the challenge. So if you look back at season 1, you know, Johnny Bananas and myself and Omarosa, you know, we were kind of the guiding voices on where the votes were going to go, how the manipulations were going to be handled, and just the strategy of the game. And you have a player like a Shake or a Jax or even a Corinne. It's just like, hey, I'm not from this world. What do I do? And you know, and Bananas took Tanisha under the learning tree. I took Shake under the learning tree. You know, so
Like
we
Jericho.
were the Thank you. We no NDA. We're good. We're those guiding forces there, and you have to make yourself open, and you have to make yourself likable, and you have to attempt in every way possible to make yourself cool. And I think that the people that don't come from this world, your Safaris and others, and I do think Safari has a pretty good read on things. So he goes from, it appears as though he knows nothing, to he's figured this out. So I think when you look and you see Wes and Hatch as your 2 options to kind of steer the ship, Wes is a lot more fun.
It's good TV. These people, listen, you gotta, everyone, you also have to understand you're going there to make a show, right? And you can't just be guns up and no one wants to watch that. We watch it because, like, you fake cried last season, you know, like, you're throwing challenges.
I love pinball so much.
You know what I'm saying? Like, but it's kind of part of the game here. It's like, look, I don't think Victoria is as dumb as she fully lets on either, too. I think she knows.
I think it's 50-50.
We've covered her. We covered her heavily. We've watched her on Bachelor in Paradise. I mean, we've joked now because she's on this season that she's in, like, probably the top 5 people we've had on the most episodes of this show of us covering her. But at least she's honest and good TV. She's great. She's flirting with Safari, and Safari doesn't even have any votes. It's like, that's good TV.
And she hates the Raiders. I mean, how can you fault her there?
Unreal. You know, like, that's the hill that Larissa died on, was the Las Vegas Raiders.
Well, you guys haven't watched 98 Fiance, I'm assuming, like her season.
Not her season. No.
Yeah, that's where she was based in Vegas. So I can see why she picked it up.
But she's like, well, the guys loved me. I'm like, yeah, you didn't pay for anything. You got to go there. Like, I mean, like, this isn't a family atmosphere.
Right.
But if you had $1,000 Las Vegas bet on what would trigger the first fight between 2 girls,
Raiders suck.
Sports ball is not
Sports
not even an
ball.
option.
I mean, the Raiders fans get in fights all the time. It's
Well, they love to fight.
They love to
but,
fight.
but I literally love, like Victoria had a throwaway line and it started World War III. And Victoria's kind of over it, but she's just like, oh my God, this is so fun. And she's like, yeah, they suck. And I mean, like, she's literally just
poking bears.
Let me keep poking because like literally, I mean, it wasn't that, Larissa had this amazing argument. She's all, blah, blah, blah. And Larissa's like, no, you don't understand. The 4-3 defense doesn't work,
They should have franchised.
So what I wanted to say is I think Hatch actually wanted to get Victoria out because he kept her up for an hour. I think like that's why I kind of liked him pushing him for that vote, because he had it was all for his motives. It's like, I want to go to bed at night and not stay up till 1 in the morning.
When I chose Bobby as my roommate, I'm just like, I like to sleep. And honestly, season 1 of House of Villains was decided by the sleeping arrangements, and I stick by my decision. I feel it was wrong, but I stick by it. So when Bananas gets to the house, we go upstairs, and he was like, you take this side of the house, I take this side of the house. We'll work them against each other, and we'll just pick them off, and we meet at the end. And I'm like, okay. And so he purposely chose the bedroom with 3 people because it's more conversations. And I purposely chose the bedroom with 2 people because I valued my sleep.
Completely understandable.
But but look at the game. Like I controlled my side. He controlled his side. He had 1 extra person. Boom. His side wins.
How was Bobby Lights? How was Bobby Lights? Because I mean, I love that.
Bobby Lights is a national treasure. Yeah. He should be protected at all. Like if
I love that dude so much.
World War, whatever happens, the first thing that needs to happen is someone find Bobby Lights, put him in a bunker, and give him some poppers, and all is well.
More people need to watch Love and Hip Hop Franchise because there's so many great people on that show. And
oh my God,
Safari being cast, I was ecstatic. Like I love the representation so far of those shows, and I love.
There was a production company back in the day called 51 Minds. They're the people that made Flavor of Love and Rock of Love and I Love Money and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. 51 Minds is whatever this company is that they changed their name. It's 51 Minds is who makes House of Villains.
Oh my God.
That's why the show has that feel. It's the same people.
Yeah, that's great. We need more of that.
Yes. So, and one of the producers, Dave, prior to House of Villains,
Irwin Entertainment,
yes. So prior to House of Villains, he had done. He rode in the shuttle bus with me and Bob Dog to the New York party. So Dave's been there that long. But prior to House of Villains, he just wrapped a docuseries, the Cody Rhodes reality show. Rhodes to the Top
on Peacock.
No, Rhodes to the Top. I think it was on TBS, wasn't it? I thought.
Oh, Rhodes to the Top. Yeah. Oh, with him and Brandy.
Yeah. So one of the producers of House of Villains did that prior, and so for the Royal Rumble, Dave hit me up. He's like, "Hey, I'm heading to the Royal Rumble. You want to come?" And I'm like, "Yeah." So I got tickets from Bruce Pritchard. I got like 7th row, and he got tickets from Nick Khan. And he had 2nd row behind Jelly Roll, and he was like, "Come sit with me." And I'm like, "Fuck yes!"
Yeah, love the wrestling crossover.
Oh yeah, it's crazy. But Dave and I talk about every 2 or 3 weeks, and we're talking about the finale party, or we're talking about something, but like literally within like 90 seconds, it's like, all right. Solo Sokoa, where I mean, like it is literally, and then I look at my phone, and like 45 minutes later, it has just been 44 and a half minutes of wrestling talk.
Solo needs to go do some sit-ups if Solo is going to be a legitimate tribal chief. I'm sorry.
He's not the final boss.
No shit. Yeah, apparently he wants to ditch too, but we can cover that later. Okay, so I want to keep going through the list of people I had here to talk about. I do want to talk a little bit. She hasn't had a lot of screen time yet. She had a little bit. I want to talk about Teresa.
Yes, I knew exactly where. So I will
Teresa.
I will say this. I have never watched any of the Real Housewives.
Oh, I have.
It's not my jam. So I would probably love it. There's just so many hours in the day that that's where I'm at. So my fiance came in to watch the second viewing of the show, and she goes, I know her. I don't watch TV. I don't like TV. I know her, and she is a star, and she is a big deal.
Yeah, you should put her in the bunker with Bobby. Like, she needs to be protected at all costs. Like, the most legitimately aloof woman, very nice, great mother, has had horrible partners. It's like, and then literally, guys, again, it's like she said, she went to jail because he wasn't paying his taxes, and she signed all the papers. Here, honey, sign this. Like, literally, did she know she had owned a construction company? You know, like,
Sure.
she's the best. Like, but like the fact that interaction, the room interaction where New York is trying to throw her out of the room.
Yeah.
It should be studied. I don't know if I legitimately have watched it like 12 times, and I don't know if she knew what was being thrown down there, but there's part of me that thinks she did know what was being thrown down there. Like, my brain is melting over that interaction.
Breaking it down, I think the subterfuge of New York mentioning the $40,000 handbag clouded the entire. So basically, New York's like, I put my purse down, your handbag was there. It's much nicer. Yours is 40,000, mine's 16. You know, whatever the
that's more than 12. That's 12,000.
Yeah. So whatever the intricacies. So, but all Teresa heard was compliment. She's like, oh. New York is complimenting me. So whatever, anything else coming out of her mouth is going to be something nice and wonderful about me. So she was like, hey, or things. And she was like, yeah, so you want to be my roommate? We kick her out. And in New York, literally, she was like, oh, I guess we could do that. Still over her head, she was like, well, she really loves me. She loves my purse. I'll allow this. So I think the subterfuge of, and that's why New York is such a beautiful person. Like, New York was planning on saying something not really nice, not really flattering, and showing the quote unquote pecking order. But New York is smart enough in that she's like, let me start with a compliment and then steamroll over with the not nice stuff. And Teresa's just like, oh no, let's kick out the nobody. And she's like, yeah, that works too. Let's why not? So, but I do think it was as simple as Teresa's bag was on New York's bed. And if Camilla's bag had been on New York's bed, she would have approached Camilla first. So it was the actual bed that was the issue.
There's a sliding doors here for these things. They really are.
Phil, why is Teresa a villain though?
She flipped the table.
I don't really.
I saw that, but I don't.
She went to jail, like,
yeah.
Really speaking of society here.
Aren't all of them? Aren't all the housewives villains to some extent?
Well, her whole storyline, really, besides obviously like her divorce from the ex-husband and the going to jail and stuff, is that her and her sister-in-law just don't get along, and it's just like that's the whole dynamic throughout, and they battle, and it's really stupid and bitter and gets really nasty. But I really just think they're like, oh, you went to jail, and also we know she's just game to do TV shows. She's like, I'm down, like, sure, cool. Okay. Like, but that one is a little bit of a soft villain, other than AK saying like you went to jail, so you're a villain. Just it's a whole other conversation.
I'm fine with it. I just was curious.
Yeah, no, it's weird. But again, I'm just happy to have her, so I'm not trying to break it.
Yeah, no, I think it's a good representation. Like, you need to. I like that they are pulling from all these different. It pulls in bigger audience, I think. So
literally, Joel McHale has the line of the show, and probably my favorite line in the history of reality television. You assholes are the only reason anyone is watching.
Yeah.
And if anyone thinks this statement's not true, look at the ratings for Survivor season 47. We have one great bad guy, two others attempting to be bad guys. The entire half the red tribe wants to be bad guys. Maybe even 4/6 of 2/3. So people like villains. There's a reason that viewership is spiking on this season of Survivor versus the entirety of the new era. There is a reason of the success of House of Villains season 1. There is a reason for the success of Traitors. There is a reason for the success of Deal or No Deal Island. People, we don't need the kumbaya. We don't need to hold hands. We don't need the sad stories. We want bad guys.
Preach.
Listen, There's so many people that are just like, I'm watching season 47. I hate Rome. I'm like, great. I want him to go home so bad. I'm like, great. And when he does, what is there to watch?
You are
You're speaking
preaching
my language
you
now.
are you were talking the testaments that I've been preaching for years. I have a famous rant where people got very mad at me, but I was like, I don't give a fuck if you had cancer. I don't care like if your parents are sick. I don't care if your house got hit by a hurricane. I don't care. I don't care. I want you to lie to this guy. I want you to win the money. And Brian, we always call it's a game show for money. Like, please, can we please get back to the money aspect of it? To like, I don't give a shit about your story. That's why you became so goddamn huge, because you played up against that. You don't care. It's like, you should not care that my grandma's sick or dead.
Yeah.
Like, you should not even care. Like, you should be like, that sucks, dude. I still want to eat the food. Like, sorry. Like,
well, I mean, I didn't have Sia money to play for. I mean, like literally, the new era has been people in sweatshirts crying on sweatshirts and hoodies crying on day 9 because they want the Sia money, and I'm just like, okay, let's get so we Sia money's gone. So now, guess what? You need to play for $1 million. You don't get to cry for 9 days with a hoodie sweatshirt and be like, just give me some money because I cried.
have a message.
Yeah, yeah. I was picked on when I was a kid. We all were. Like,
you think I wouldn't be doing this podcast if I wasn't picked on as a kid? Come on.
The only people that weren't picked on as a kid are still wearing their fucking Letterman jacket at age 45 with their fucking gross fucking wife. Okay,
yeah, tonight's homecoming in my town. Go Minutemen.
so yeah, that is like, and guess what? Their lives sucked. They peaked at fucking 17.
But they might get state this year, bro.
So,
like Matt Saracen.
Fingers crossed. Hey, it's Friday night. You know where they are.
You know where the lights are. I do want to listen. Obviously, we lost Larissa, so I want to be able to give her a little bit of attention because we're not going to be able to talk to her anymore. How did you feel about her? I thought it was bad strategy. People are more talking about in bad taste that she was trying to get breast cancer awareness signatures to try to win a challenge that she got about a quarter of everyone else's.
Well, I mean, the thing with Larissa is she's mostly natural.
Totally, 100%.
I don't.
She's for the cause.
Yeah. I don't think she understood the assignment.
No,
I think something was a little lost in translation there.
I agree.
So, I mean, the fact that English is not her first language, and if it is, God bless her.
On her sixth.
Wow. Yeah. So I don't know where English is in her pecking order of chosen languages. But if you look, her approach on the Hollywood Walk of Fame was literally approaching other people that don't speak English and don't speak whatever language she does speak. And so like she gave herself an unnecessary second obstacle. Like, obstacle number 1 is I need a signature. Obstacle number 2 is throwing out this imaginary facade of a charity and combining that with, let me explain this facade of a charity to someone who doesn't speak English, and I don't speak English.
It was like she's never, I mean, maybe she never been on Hollywood Boulevard before and never seen the freak show that street is. And it's like Times Square, basically. Like,
she fit in pretty good with the freak show.
She wasn't selling her signature. Like, you got like Candy's out there just selling selfies for no shit. She could have sold selfies for signatures, like there was.
Yeah. I mean, well, I mean, just as a freak, not, so, yeah. But that was an unfair advantage in the fact, all right, you have Candy, who is a celebrity. I mean, yes. Like she's a
very recognizable. Like, you're not going to.
She's a visual spectacle prior to RuPaul's Drag Race, post RuPaul's Drag Race. You make the eye contact and you're like, oh my God, it's Candy. There's a celebrity, in the realm. Boom, huge. And so that notoriety can win you this challenge. Victoria is just a hot girl, whereas you just have to be you don't have to be like, hey, do you watch The Bachelor? It's just like, hey, I'm a hot girl. I will talk to you if you sign this. And they're just staring at her signing. So boom. All Larissa really had was the freak show to sell. And that's not the good she was selling.
Right. She needed to wield her assets. And she's from Brazil. So is that Portuguese?
Yes.
Yeah.
Sure.
So I think her native language would be Portuguese. But I think so. Was it Richard Hatch or somebody who was like, you should have just been jumping up and down? And honestly, that's probably what she should have been doing. Because, like you said, it's a great show.
I think America. I think she would have done well with the American demo. As I said, I just don't think the talking was a necessary component to her signatures, and
Yeah.
she relied on her weakest asset.
Right.
Your communication.
She should have been like, and I think somebody else said best. I'm on a TV show. Help me out. I'll take a picture with you. I'll jump up and down. Like, say you're on a TV show. This is a TV show. I think people would be like, of course I want to sign this paper. I don't care who you are.
Candy was telling people, I don't want to get eliminated. Sign my paper.
Yeah, and Victoria, I think, eventually picked that up too, and that's why I think that got like a lot closer than it probably should have been.
Yeah. Well, I think Victoria just did. It's like, hey, here's a TV camera. I'm a hot girl. Would you like to talk to me? Yes.
Yeah.
So sign this. Okay.
I do appreciate Victoria's candidness about being broke and needing to win the money. I did like Joel letting her know about how taxes work. But I will say one thing though, like I just don't feel that bad for her because like you shut your own OnlyFans down, you cut your own income off. Like, what are you talking about here?
Did you do a private browser?
No, I
search?
did not yet. No, I have not yet.
I have not yet either.
I have not yet. Only we've seen her again. She looks very different than she looked when we first met her back on The Bachelor, like 4 years ago.
That OF lifestyle do that to you.
She's like at one point again. This is here's another word for every penny time you heard this. She was a fitness influencer. She had listed at one point, because she lost. She is the quintessential like just carry a vote person, right? It's like carry, but can you carry her that long though? Because I think she's kind of just gonna go with the wind. So like she's not like a solid number per se, right? Like.
I think she goes deep. I think she is what they were hoping what they would get with Corinne, and Corinne decided to turn House of Villains into The Bachelor season 47 or whatever instead. But no, I think Victoria has some depth in this game. I think I think she does go where the wind blows, but I think the wind's going to blow in the right direction for her.
Yeah. I get what you're saying. She's not going to be really out now with Larissa gone, especially. I mean, the only person that really outright hates her is Richard, it seems like.
And where is he number wise?
Apparently in a 5-2 minority.
Yeah.
So I mean, that is like I said, I like Victoria again. Like we've had her in so many seasons of our stuff that like I like being able to follow her along with it, but it is going to be interesting. This show to me is tough on the power players, frankly. People like yourself, a Wes, a Johnny, it seems like a show that's almost pitted against you winning in a lot of ways. How do you kind of see like the breakdown of everybody? Like, who do you think really are the heavy contenders? Like, who has no shot based off who they are, and who do you think actually can kind of break through my theory there that if you are a known like game player, you're probably screwed?
I think Hatch and Candy are on the bottom. And I think a Camilla, and maybe, just maybe, if the stars align, a Victoria, those two could win.
I like that.
And
Brian, where are you at right now?
And I see definitely Wes and Safari and others that upper mid.
I just think Wes is doing a little bit too much.
Yeah.
I think people know he's good at the challenge. I think he's like you said, Bill, in the beginning, like I think he's doing too many deals and too many one-side conversations, because I think this is kind of what happened on your season, Johnny. Eventually people started to figure out like, hey, if we just band together, we can like.
They don't really figure it out. Like the difference between a reality competition person and a non, they don't get it. And so basically they just keep coming. They're like, hey, if I were to come after you somehow, how would I do that? And I was like, oh, well, that's simple. Well, let's talk about that tomorrow. But today, let's focus on us working together. And I mean, but they'll literally ask you, how can I get rid of you? Because I don't understand how the math. And I was like, well, you have to carry the one, and that's tricky. So let's revisit that, and let's talk about us working together. Or let's finish this conversation promptly so I can find someone else to get rid of you for saying shit like that.
That makes sense. I guess I had more faith in the humanity.
No, they have no. As I said, I was pleasantly surprised with Safari's realization of what was happening.
I'm very
Safari could get further than we thought.
I love it.
At the
love
beginning
it
of episode 1.
I got Safari. I got Safari upper mid. So like I think are like Safari could be in the finals or you know like you know that top 4 or 5. Like Safari could be Jonny Fairplay or Shake.
Brian, you know Safari pretty well from watching his seasons pretty extensively. Do you see him able to keep his cool throughout this, or do you think
it doesn't matter if you lose your cool?
Yeah, I was just gonna say he's a villain. I mean, he's done a lot of really crappy stuff. So like him being cast, I think is like actually pretty perfect. Like I love Bobby Lights. I didn't think Bobby Lights was as big of a villain as Safari is. Like he's done some just crazy stuff, like faking marriages, faking proposals, like having sex with people that he shouldn't be having sex with that are friends with other people. It's great. That's why it's just like, you got to watch that franchise if you haven't watched. He's the only one that's been on every single iteration in cities. Is Safari. I was really impressed with him. He like you said, Johnny, like he was clocking. That's why I think like you said, I think he actually could make it to the second level, third level of the game, and I think he should because he's gonna have a good TV moment. And I love that him and actually, I was worried that him and New York didn't know each other and they would fight, but the fact that they know each other, I think, could be positive for him.
She's updating him on how long she's been engaged and how the guy's taking too long to get off the pot.
And like when they were talking, like, oh, if you and Safari hooked up, honestly, he's hooked up with everybody. So like for a second, there's a very good chance they have. He had OnlyFans. There's a couple episodes on his season where he had an OnlyFans, and apparently the dude is packing a hammer. So like it's people know about him. So it's
Hatch on the other hand, based on over 100 survivors that have seen it, Hatch is a grower, not a shower. There is a
Hatch also found Grindr and is like filling us in. Like I'd almost rather watch the Richard Hatch like just going out trying to do the dating app reality show than see him on another competition.
I loved him in Safari's furs though. I like that. Like that moment was funny to me, just like seeing him like Safari swag him out a little bit.
I had King George from Australian Survivor live with me for 2 months this year. And King George on Grindr is like he's like, oh, let's flip a coin, Fairplay. Am I a bottom or a top today?
He's a mess on Grindr.
I was like, oh no. I was like, does it work like that? He goes, it does for me. If I can't poo, then I'm on top.
Unless he has like 2 faces coin.
Yeah.
It's like, that's a good throwback.
And then of course, I live in you know in the South, and he goes there. He's like, let's go to the redneck ball. How many of them do you think are on Grindr? I'm sure their uncles know. And I was like, please do not ask anyone here if they're on Grindr, George. Please,
please put your phone away and stop blowing up marriages in our town, please.
They're trying to be secretive.
Have a little bit more chill for us, bud.
But I would watch the King George and Richard Hatch Grindr show. I think that would be
that'd be on MTV. Bill, what do you think is part of that?
That's a VH1er.
Well, no, there's no room on MTV. There's a whole new season of ridiculousness that we have to
and wilding out.
Bill, what do you think of Safari as your first like viewing?
I love Safari. I was sitting there when they were sitting during their kind of reward challenge, and Wes is laying out the plan, and I was like, "There's no way this dude is gonna follow your plan, dog. Like, there's no way this guy isn't pure anarchy." Like as soon as he started, when he was in the room and he was doing the fake outs and shit, I'm like, oh, this guy is a menace. Like, this is great. Like, again, and this is what this show has done. They're like, I will go back and watch him. Like, Bobby, like, I watched stuff with Bobby last season because I saw him on this show. I'm like, you have to go. Like, I need the backstory.
I have so many TikToks on our page of Safari and of Bobby Lights before they even House of Villains was the thing. So it's just,
I came home and watched Love Is Blind. Because they were just like, I was like, because my fiance loves Shake. Like she is her favorite person from the cast. I mean, you know, and we love Bananas. We love Corinne. We love. I mean, like, you know, we're a family. It's so insane. Yeah. Like, you know, the craziness, the toxicity, all those things. But we love each other so much. And you know, my fiance is you know, I did the House of Villains viewing party tour. And so, you know, we go all over and all that. And so, but Shake has come here to Danville, Virginia. He's thrown at the first pitch for the Danville Otterbots. He's DJ'd, and he's just a very light. And she was like, "What's this guy's problem?" And watching Love Is Blind. So here's Shake's mentality going into this thing. He's just like, hey, I'm down to do this. I want to be on TV. I want to find a chick or whatever. He goes, but I don't want a fat girl.
Yeah, he literally was honest, but that's not
so they're just like, you're not allowed to ask what they look like. And
Shake's telling people on these seasons now, they give full descriptions now.
So he's like, here's my workaround. He was like, hey, so if we were go to a rock festival, do you think I could get you up on my shoulders? Hey, if I were gonna take you shopping, what size dress would you buy? Hey, and then they're just like, what a piece of shit.
Yeah. Because he was on season 2, right? Season 2, I think.
Yeah, season 2.
Early, so I can see how like people,
the best
people like clutching their pearls when they heard that. So
and for the record, like when Love Is Blind came out, the concept, I would be willing to bet that the demographic that watches Love Is Blind is possibly, and I'm willing to bet, a larger, lesser attractive girl. I believe there's a heavy, pun intended, demo that is watching that going, if someone were to sense the real, if they didn't see me, they didn't see what I looked like, they didn't see how big they would love me for me. I think there is a huge demo that is that person watching that show. And so when Shake does say, hey, you think I get you up on your shoulders? They're like, fuck you.
Yeah, there's the other half that are like people like Brian and I who are just waiting for the inevitability of once you see each other and have to get to know each other, you're probably not going to like each other. And we're right. And your parents aren't assholes who don't want to be friendly to this chick who they met 12 minutes ago because they don't feel like going through this bullshit. Like,
yes. So, and peek behind the curtain, Shake is not that bad a guy because before the finale, they're not supposed to contact, like before the actual wedding thing or whatever. Shake contacted the girl and he was just like, hey, I'm not going to say yes. However, I want them to ask you first and I want you to say no because I want to give you the power in this.
That's a great insight.
So if this guy is such a fucking shitbag, why would he do that?
Well, that guy also, to be fair, we talked about that show, and I think less people on House of Villains have to worry about this in general, but like the guy does have a business, right? He was like trying to like at the time, like he was a vet, right? Like he's like, not worried about like Johnny, like Bananas ain't worried about it. Like, Wes ain't worried about, like, even Wes says he's got 47 businesses, whatever. Like, Safari ain't worried about looking like an asshole on TV.
Well, it's funny. I saw there was a picture, a production picture for one of the producers, and it was the Janice Dickinson episode, and he's wearing one of my Shake Your Toast t-shirts. So available at fairplayshirts.com.
Plug.
Another good plug. We mentioned, obviously, we've talked about Larissa. She lost in a 5-2 vote. Also great. She's obviously never read the Bible. Let's just
well, she has read hers. Well, she gives the verse, and I'm just like, okay, that sounds kind of like something from the Bible. But I felt like it was missing like the last 2 or 3 words of whatever.
It was missing all the adjectives and the pronouns.
It wasn't a complete sentence. Like,
there was no prepositions.
Okay. Yeah, and well, she had some propositions in there. So that's so and then they ask her to say it again, and she does, and I'm just like, wow. I'm like, I guess this is really something. And then Safari questions, and Joel's just like, yeah, and she's like, oh yeah, no, it's just mine. Just my own Bible. I have a feeling that if you're looking at like the Cliff Notes version of a book versus a regular book, her version of the Bible is much smaller than the actual Bible.
Yeah, it's the drive-through.
chapters less.
Definitely less verses.
Yeah. Well, there's much less words in every sentence, so there is that.
Less psalm, more palm. I want to talk about the very end, right?
Yes.
She is eliminated. The chair goes back into the wall, but then we get the interruption as the credits start, and it looks like the chair is coming back Is she in the chair or is someone else in the chair?
Someone else. One of the greatest tropes in reality television is the additional player, and they didn't do this on season 1, so it's right for the picking on season 2. Who is out there in this multiverse?
That's what I want to ask you guys.
Like, is this a Heidi?
Girl, right?
I'm thinking they're going. I'm thinking they're going to keep the number dynamic that they have, because you already have the kind of this like bro alliance going, and I don't think we need to add to that just for the synergy of the show. So I think it's another girl just for the pure numbers and split that they have, and with that, I think it's another girl. I think Heidi is a good possibility, because we didn't we got Spencer for the cameo, and
Right.
he was they did actually reach out to him for season 1, and he had a scheduling conflict for the whole show, but that didn't stop Bobby Lights.
Brian, you watched Traders as well, so you would know. I mean, you also watched the franchise she comes from, but I would love for it to be Kate. Below Deck.
Oh wow.
I would love
I think they're trying not to do the whole. I think NBC Universal as a company is trying to keep them kind of separate, like
Traders, and I think she would be great for this show. I mean, she's so good. I think she would be awesome. That I don't know why that popped in my head right when it was happening. That's what I was thinking of. I don't know why.
Kate would be great, because I feel like she's done all that she can do on the Traders. Like, for her to come back the second time halfway through it, in the twist or whatever, I feel it kind of screws up a potential Traders. I mean, she could potentially do Traders All-Stars, but I feel like I feel like she finished the story, as Cody would say.
Did we see her hair color?
I didn't like. I just let it. I watched, and then I watched the replay, so I saw it twice, but I didn't freeze frame. I'm just like, I don't want to know. Like, I kind of want to keep it vague.
Yeah, no.
You know what a dream casting for me would be, if we can go back in time and take this person, would be like prime Mike the Situation villain on the show. I would really like.
Or
you mean Mike on drugs?
Yeah. Like when he was actually like in the old version of the show, I think he would be amazing on the show. And then it makes me think, like, could they pull Angelina?
Gosh,
she's messy.
Mess.
She's messy, but she is a villain technically.
She's nice in real life.
No, I'm sure she is nice. But again,
I met her. I was at when they brought her in for TNA for that thing. I had a meeting that week. It was actually Vince Russo pitched for me to manage Generation Me, because they didn't have enough personality and there wasn't any money in them. And fast forward, they became the Young Bucks.
That worked out.
I'm just trying to think of like anybody else, that like a girl that on TV shows that we watch that.
I mean,
I think Snooki. Is Snooki a bad guy though?
No, Snooki's not a bad guy.
Yeah,
it's got to be Mike or
JWoww wouldn't be bad.
Nah,
but
JWoww won't do it.
She was aggressive.
She's not a villain.
Sammy Sweetheart was a villain to Ronnie.
I kind of would think that, like, just based off of this season, like we have no real Bravo representation, which I think is.
Do we need a?
Well, I guess we have Teresa.
Yeah, we don't need another.
I was about to say, do we need another housewife? Oh, who's a bad person for Vanderpump?
What about like Kristen Doty?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know if I can watch Kristen Doty again.
Yeah, she was. Sorry. What didn't she do? The
Valley.
Goat.
Yeah, I'm good. And the Goat. Yeah, the Goat. She was on the Goat.
She was on Goat. Goat.
That
was underrated.
That was. She was the high. Like the Goat.
She was fine.
The Goat started flat and finished flat, but like episodes like 2 through 4
were walkouts.
Were because of Kristen.
Trust me, brother. We were there.
we didn't cover it. We didn't do it.
I was supposed to be there. I literally had a contract, and 2 days before I'm supposed to fly out, my manager's emailing. They're just like, "Where's Fairplay's plane ticket?" And they're like, "Oh, you didn't get it? You should call and cuss out production." And we're like, "No, just send our plane ticket."
In that vein, obviously.
What you got James from The Amazing Race and the Challenge USA. He was actually flown out there, and then like they started filming at 9 a.m. and like at 9:15 they knocked on his hotel door, and they're just like, "Oh yeah, you're not on, by the way."
Really?
Yeah.
You're dropping some good nuggets tonight.
Yeah. So
I'm
One
looking
thing I
at my
would ask
list.
you,
I can't see.
I'm completely fucking myself for GOAT season 2, but is there really going to be a GOAT season 2?
what I would need, what we need to get you on, and I was a little upset when we saw the casting announcement that you weren't on Traders season 3.
I thought
I knew it. I'm like, there's no way
I was in the finals
gotta
of
be on
casting
this
for
show.
Deal or No Deal Island season 2.
Oh,
Yeah, you would be great for that show too.
So
I like Rob and all, but Rob's not like.
If you're gonna replace me with someone, the Golden God, we're pretty much the same person looks wise.
yeah, right, Parvati. I mean, that's actually a sneaky good show. Like I was going in with
I
low
love that
expectations.
show.
I thought it was pretty good.
I hadn't seen it
They
until
kinda put
they
it on
hit
a
me
weird
up
time.
to be on it, and then me and King George like binged it over 2 days, and I'm just like, this
Not
is a
bad.
very good show.
Yeah.
So, and it's crazy, like the mean old lady on there that had a hard on to get rid of Boston Rob.
Yeah.
She
I forget her
she
name.
goes to Hearts of
Hated
Reality
him.
every year, and she's like one of the biggest super fans and like the sweetest person ever. But she was smart. She was just like, this guy wins every time.
Oh,
Screw
okay.
him.
Yeah, I
She chose
remember.
violence, dude.
I was thinking
She
of
chose
somebody else, but
violence
now I
on that
remember you're
season.
talking about.
I was like, come on, old lady, this is great.
Listen, end of the day, you still have to play Deal or No Deal, which is a motherfucker. So it's like no matter how much scheming you do, you still got to play the odds. And like, I thought it was a good show, but no, I want Trader. You're perfect for Traders.
I think season 4 is definitely a possibility. So because allegedly the unwritten rule is no one from Traders is coming to House of Villains, but I guess Bananas kind of bended the rule where you can go from House of Villains to Traders. So I don't know.
It's not full reciprocity yet. You know what I mean? We'll figure that out.
Yeah.
Honestly, we got a ton out of this conversation. The first 2 weeks of House of Villains were great. Jonny, obviously being able to talk about everything in between and your insights been awesome. I want to give you a chance again to plug Reality After Show, plug everything else you have going on.
As I said, support, click the link, support the charity thing. As I said, 83% kill rate in any city is unacceptable for an animal shelter. So let's see if we can fix that. I'm personally doing everything I can. I've actually, I've been meeting with the Homeward Trails people, and we're doing videos with kittens, and I'm going to the trappings and stuff. So it's pretty crazy and pretty awesome that I'm able to do something like. No, please don't tell anyone, because it will ruin my reputation as a bad guy.
Yeah.
So but no,
you only rescue
Cameo,
evil animals and villainous
only
kittens.
evil. Well, for the record, I hate dogs. I literally do not like. Yeah, I know. I've been staring at it. I'm just like, why couldn't you live in Danville?
Oh, we're good. Just knock the light over. That was just my light. That's not getting edited out. That's staying in.
But I kind of a cool thing I'm doing. I guess Cameo has like a Survivor Cameo competition, and there's like 200 survivors on Cameo, and like right now I'm top 6.
Oh shit,
which is insane. So yeah, and I do a really good cameo. I got mullet Jeff Probst over here in the corner, and then I walk over. I got the Survivor flag. I got the grandma tombstone that they gave me at the premiere of House of Villains, and then if it's your birthday, I got the 50 Cent record, and I do the Go Shorty. It's your birthday. So they're fun. Cameo.com/Jonny Fairplay. No H in Johnny. And but yeah, the Reality After Show network is nuts. Survivor, you got me and Matt Bischoff and stand-up comedian Wayne Mimit talking Survivor on Wednesday nights. On Thursdays, you have Kelly Wentworth. She has On the Edge, or is it Edging with Kelly? I think that's a different podcast. Edging with Kelly Wentworth. that's how some people watch it. On the Edge with Kelly Wentworth. And the first week she had Lauren on there, and then last week she had Abby Maria. This week she had Reem. Next week she has Jeremy Collins and Val. So she's doing some really fun stuff there. For the challenge, we have Paulie Calafiore, who was actually on season 40 with Dan Monschel and Alex Trias. They are killing it. Wendell Holland and Bryce Isaiah do another challenge podcast, the Challenge Breakdown podcast. And then we're adding new podcasts like each and every week. We have a We have a Summit podcast starting
Nice.
on Sunday. We have other stuff. I don't want to spoil anything. So, but we have a lot of fun stuff. I'll spoil one. King George is doing a RuPaul's Drag Race podcast. Pretty excited.
Oh,
about
that's
that.
great. Oh, that's great.
Yes. So we have a Circle podcast with Cassie from last season. So a lot of stuff. I think there's a Love Is Blind podcast starting on our network, and me and the fiance, we are slowly catching up. I think we're on episode 5, maybe. I'm not sure, but I am loving it. Are you guys watching Love Is Blind this season?
Yeah, we're caught up. We dropped our review yesterday for the second.
Okay. Well, so the rich asshole.
Leo.
Oh,
so all right. So here's where I'm at. The larger girl, what's her name?
Hannah.
Hannah broke the news. She decided she liked the guy that she got rid of, and then she tells the other guy, and he's like, "You can't do." And the only reason the rich asshole likes her is because she turned him down. It's the only reason. And then the next morning, it's just like, "Hey, I thought about it, and since we mutually broke up, and we can both agree on that, it was a mutual breakup. Can you go ahead and put in some good?" And I'm just like, "Oh my god! All right." I think Hannah sucks. So I want her and the nerd to just have the worst time ever. But as I said, I don't know what happens yet. But who's the chick that's hot?
Brittany. I'm assuming you're talking about Brittany.
Yeah. So Brittany is she's remember the chick Izzy ended up with that was like super hot, but then she sucked.
Yeah. Was it Micah? No, not
yeah,
Micah.
Sure. No, not Micah. That's who he ended up with after. Yeah. So
I know you're talking about. I know you're talking about.
Yeah. Who did not approve of him not having silverware or plates.
Correct.
So, and he hid in a closet.
Right.
And I think he did something similar with his current girlfriend.
Was it like Stacy or something?
Yeah, she had blonde hair, Bill.
Sure, Stacy sounds right.
I think it was
Stacy. Anyway,
Stacy.
I think this Brittany is Stacy 2.0. So as I said, I don't know what happens, but I'm
not going to say anything. I'm just listening to you talk.
But I want this rich asshole to, and because I think Stacy knows it's not going to work out either, but I think she wants the TV time, and I think she wants to make his life miserable in Cancun. So I'm just like, please allow all these things to happen.
He gives orphans a bad name. He's like a shitty Bruce Wayne.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He is a very shitty Bruce Wayne. So, but he's very hateable. But I don't as I said, I need them to go to Cancun because I just want them to have the worst time ever, and I want it documented on TV.
Just message me when you get to.
Yeah, Leo.
Just shoot me a message when you get to the spot, and then you're gonna. Just message me.
I think the way Leo talks shows that he's never talked to a girl before.
And then we have 2 black people that I'm not sure are black, but they keep telling me that they're black.
You're talking about newly black.
Steven.
I've been calling him newly black Steven. You have not even scratched the surface on newly black Steven. Yeah. Trust me. The episodes are coming. His episodes are coming.
Okay. Well, I'm excited about newly black Steven. I'm not sure how this is good. I do not. I don't think that they go to the same soul food restaurants that I do, just based on appearance. No. Neither one. So, but I'm all in. I am loving this season of Love Is Blind. So if there is a Love Is Blind podcast that ends up on my network or elsewhere, I am. Once I get caught up, I would love to throw my hat in the ring. I would love to chime in because I am literally because my schedule, my fiance's schedule, it's just so chaotic. With doing everything that I do and all that I'm literally at 1:30 in the morning screaming at the television. Like, this guy's an asshole, but do not get him off my TV. I want to see him suffer in Cancun.
I got a new 4-month-old. I did a TikTok of me watching the Genevieve move the other night, and I was sitting on my back porch because I was yelling and I couldn't wake the baby up. So I'm sitting on my porch. So I get you. I fully get it. Great season of Love Is Blind. People should check them out, all of them, honestly. But season 7 definitely has been an improvement over even the last few years.
Or just follow any of Izzy's girlfriends after Love Is Blind, and that's a good time too.
Yeah, you get to see his loser ass again too on Perfect Match. So that's.
I'm friends with Izzy. I love him.
On the show, it's not like what they're looking for there. That's we can
So,
we can dig into that on another one.
Yeah, so it's crazy because me and my fiance hung out with Izzy and the girlfriend that all this happened. Like we were in Miami together with Shake.
I love these crossovers. These
Yeah,
crossovers
I
are
do
so
too.
classic.
More the people love the crossovers.
That's what we're doing right now. So make sure you follow Reality After Show. Make sure you check out everything.
Real quick.
Yeah.
Love is Blind bad. Is there Stacy from Love is Blind? Could that be Larissa's replacement?
I don't know if there's any women on the show that from
Did
Love is
she
Blind.
suck enough?
The
Oh,
girl, Brian, the girl from season 2, the like religious one with the coke dude, she could technically maybe be a villain.
Oh,
I'm talking
the blonde
about?
from Chicago.
Yeah, the blonde from Chicago.
Oh, what about the chick that looks like the hot chick but doesn't? What about her?
Oh, from Charlotte with poor
Chelsea?
Chelsea. Her name's Chelsea. You're right.
That
I
was
don't
a
think she's
heel.
a
That
villain.
was a heel move, telling him she looked like Megan Fox. That was
I don't think
that was a bigger lie than the dead grandma lie.
Yeah, some of these lies are definitely worse. Well, the guy Nick told Hannah he was a football player, he was a punter. You know, it's like you're setting him up for a different expectation.
I think he's a punter and other things.
I think that's a great way to end it. So
Thank
sure
you.
you check out all of Johnny's stuff. Make sure you follow us all at the Reality Guys, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, obviously here on YouTube. But until next week, for myself, Brian, Johnny, thank you so much for hanging out with us. Peace.